Okay, Assalamualaikum dan a very good morning to everybody. So today will be the last lecture for this semester, and we are going to look at a little bit on the interpersonal skill of valuer and also estate agents on managing the employees that is available at the respective property consultants firm. So as we know, we have three main courses or disciplines that we can open up the firm, which is registered valuer firm, estate agency firm, and also property management firm. And for the first one, for employment management, we are going to look at into a registered valuation firm. Okay, so for introduction, so for employee management is your first concern if you are the supervisor or the manager at the work, and effective management and leadership of the employees will allow you to accomplish your goals at work. So as an entry level employee, usually our graduates will become either a valuation executive or a negotiator or even a property executive. But in the upcoming years, 4, 5, even 10 years in the future, you will become the supervisor or you become the manager, and you have the qualification to be the managing partner. Even you have the professional certification, which is you have passed your TPC and become either a registered valuer, a registered estate agent, or even a registered property manager. So you will become a manager, a position of a manager, and you have to manage your employees inside that particular organization. But for entry level, you will be the one who will be managed. But we are talking about in the future, of course, 4 to 5 years in the future. Okay, so some of the fundamentals is, of course, for managers, you are going to learn how to find, interview, and also hire workforce. Meaning, if you are the manager, if you are the registered valuer, for example, so you are going to look for valuation executives. So it's important for you to gauge the ability, the potential, and then also the knowledge and also expertise of the entry level executive. So as you once were before. So 5 years ago you were the valuation executive, now you are the registered valuer. So of course you are going to look for the good qualities that will help your organization. Okay, so you also need to understand and perform employee practices that keep your employees motivated, inspired, always developing and attain the goals with your guidance. If you are the valuation executive, so of course you are going to look at into several aspects of a company. Like you are looking into, of course, number one is the salary, and number two, the working environment. The working environment must always be in a conducive environment. It's not a negative or toxic environment. So when you are in the managerial position, of course, you want your employees to have all of the same positive aspects that you have gone through in the past 4 to 5 years. So good managerial practice or fundamentals is that you need to tap in the potential of your employees. Let's say if your employees is working with your company, so you need to provide them with a very clear promotion course in the objective of them to become a manager also. So there's a lot of theories regarding good management practice, but eventually it is up to the management. If you are part of the management, so of course it is up to you to implement all of these theories in your organization. Okay, so management success, we talk about interpersonal relationship, whereby it is a mutual communication. It is a mutual respect between the employers and also the employees. So the employees know what is the KPI set up by the management, and then the employees know what is needed to be expected from the employees. Number two, communicate effectively, either through orally, in person, or through printed copies, or even email. So how you are going to communicate with your employees so effectively. So some employees might not be well spoken of, but they are very good in writing. So maybe this kind of employees, you can write memos to them to convey messages and information effectively and accurately. Okay, team building, so it's also an important aspect, whereby if a particular organization have a large number of employees, of course we want to have the cohesion between the employees. So they need to have teamwork. So you are not just working like in a silo, individual success, whereby for a particular organization to be successful, of course all of the employees need to have good teamwork and also cohesion. So maybe in my particular experience, we look at if an organization can give the opportunity for team building exercises, send the employees for team building exercises in any resorts or team building facilities, maybe also provide company dinners, so things that is a little bit outside of the job scope, but can help with the cohesion, the success of the employees teamwork in the organization. Okay, so number four, understand financial aspects of the business and sets goals and measures and documents staff progress and also success. Recognize the employees. So let's say you are recognizing them on their monthly effort. So you can maybe put up a small award, like a recognition of employee of the month. So for outstanding employees, so it can become a motivation also for other employees to achieve the same success. So maybe after that you can also provide an employee of the year award with perks such as bonuses for that particular employee to be recognized and also be motivated, as well as the other employees can also be motivated to strive and to receive the same recognitions as their peers. Okay, lead by example and provide recognition when others do the same. So as a employer, you are not just the manager, you are the leader of that particular organization. So if you want people to follow you as a leader, so you need to lead by example. So if you are doing valuation works, so you must be the one who show the valuation work quality that is being produced is of high quality and also high standard. So when the employees look at your own work, so they can aspire to provide at least at the same quality as you have produced. So not just being the manager, you can boss people around, but as the manager you didn't know how to do this works. You just boss people around, but you didn't know. So you need to show and set up a good example to the people working under your management. Okay. And lastly, helps people grow and develop their skills and capabilities through education and on-the-job learning. So as employees, so they must be given a clear path to promotion, and also they must be given trainings. So if your company can't provide those kind of trainings, so of course you can always send them to external courses, or external training courses for them to get an added value of knowledge. So maybe let's say the employees want to learn regarding uh, land acquisition. So you send them out to courses of land acquisition, on how to acquire land, on how to be more proficient in the Land Acquisition Act and everything. So if the company can provide that, of course, you need to help them. So in an organization, so it's not necessarily mean you give your employees a good salary, then it's going to be sufficient. And so managing people, people have expectations. So of course they expect, number one is of course to have a good salary, and other than that they need a positive working environment, and of course as people they want to look into the future. So if they say this company can't give me the knowledge, the expertise that I'm going to sought after, then of course it's going to become a factor of resentment for them. So they might be starting to look out into other organizations that can provide them those aspects. So of course, in managing the human resources, and we don't want our trained, our experts, our knowledge that we have given to them is being taken up by other companies. Of course, retaining the human resources is very important, so it's going to help the company also in the long run. Okay, so valuation firm, so this is some of the composition that is usually available. So of course the registered valuer is the manager, and then your administrative staffs, so will help with the administrative works, and also with the financial works inside the company, and then the valuation executive. So this is usually, like I said before, the entry level work that is available inside the valuation firm. Draftsman, if you have the ability to hire draftsman, so draftsman will help you a lot in reducing the time to prepare, let's say, a valuation report. So all of the mapping, all of the plans that is going to be drawn up can be quickly prepared by the draftsman in helping out the valuation executive. And lastly is usually for a firm might have one office boy or runner. So some of the documents that is urgent, that you might not have the time to wait for postages. So you went to the post office and then you post a confidential document or even an urgent document that is just within the vicinity. Let's say you are working in Klang Valley and then you want to send to Kuala Lumpur. So if it is much more efficient to employ an office boy, then of course it is the duty of the manager to provide office boy services towards the organization. Okay, so for registered valuer, so of course the code of conducts and ethics and the valuation standard needs to be followed as a registered valuer. So we have gone through all semester for this, so we know registered valuers must uphold the highest standard of the profession in the real estate industry. For valuation executive, so executive entry level, so it's not a registered value yet, but going to become in the next 4 to 5 years. So before they become a registered valuer on their own. So of course, these executives will be the assistants to the registered valuers. So they are working and doing the same job scope as a registered valuer, but of course, they don't have the recognition to sign the valuation reports yet. So as if you are a registered valuer, you need to have the ability to manage your executives, so that they can assist you as effectively as you were doing the work on your own. So of course, it is also part of the mentor-mentee program, so whereby you are mentoring the executive, so eventually in the future they can be your successor or even be your partner in the firm. So of course you need to give them a lot of tutelage, a lot of monitoring, a lot of guidance for them to excel in their work. Okay. For administrative financial clerks, usually this is someone who is not involved in the technical aspect of the organization, but usually they will help like preparing documents, like preparing uh, financial statements of the company. So the technical aspects of the work uh, can be conducted by the executives. So the executives, they don't have to think about admin duties, and they don't have to think about doing financial audits for the company. So they can solely focus on their main job scope, which is doing valuation work for the organization. Okay. So draftsman, so someone who has the technical knowledge in drawing, so they are needed to assist in doing drawings as well as maps. So of course, we need someone in the aspect of a very good skill of preparing drawings and also mapping. So if the draftsman have knowledge in AutoCAD, in SketchUp, even in Sweet Home 3D, so it's going to be a major advantage towards your organization. Okay, so the office boys, so entry level position, usually someone who is with the lower qualification, like SPM, so we don't need them to do the technical aspects in the organization. So usually their job scope is associated with delivering documents, sending out items, so things that the organization feels is urgent. So you can't just rely on postal services. So having an internal office boy or even a runner, so if it is going to become is more financially feasible, so if of course you need to have this. So as a runner, as part of runner also, they will be the go-to person, like if you wanted to get the title search at the land district offices. So of course these office boys can be employed to do that. Okay. So for PM companies, the composition is quite similar also. So as a registered valuer also can conduct as a registered property manager. So of course, it is more inclined towards property management works, like establishing rental rates, attracting tenants, doing contract negotiation with tenants, financial objectives, and the most important aspect, of course, is to maintain the property. So registered property managers is a professional profession that is also being governed by the board of valuers. So of course, as the property manager, you need to uphold the highest ethics and the highest standards of work to provide the best services for your clients. Okay. For executive, usually is similar to valuation executive. Is an entry level job for graduates in real estate, but doing valuation work is not their main concern. So their main concern is assisting the registered PM. So the same job scope as a registered PM, but of course, when property executive is still not being recognized as a registered property manager, they can't sign document, legal documents and everything. That is the job scope of the registered PM. So executives, property executives will assist them, like managing, control and evaluate orders, prepare monthly financial statement, letter of award and also letter of appointment to external consultant. So letter of award to contractors. So some of the, like let's say maintenance work in their building sites, they can't do on their own. So of course they need to hire external contractors, like someone to manage the elevators, someone to do the cleaning of the common areas. So this is needed to be determined whether you are going to do it in-house or externally. Okay. Administrative financial clerk, so it's quite the same. So all of the administrative work and audits also, so it's going to be assisted by the clerk. So of course the registered PM and also the property executive, they can focus more towards their technical aspect of their job description. Okay, doing marketing and promotion. So if you have a marketing team, so usually for sites that require a lot of marketing and promotion, like let's say you are managing a shopping complex, with a very high level of tenancy rate, like Steve Mall in Shalam. So doing marketing and promotion might involve a very specific unit or department in the organization. So let's say the property executives, they don't have the time to do this, so they are more concerned towards managing tenants and everything. And of course, you as the manager of this organization, you need to set up a good and also effective marketing team in the organization. Okay, draftsman, quite similar before, someone who draws all the maps and also the building plans to help the systems. Okay, office boy, runner. So next and lastly is the agency firm. So for agency firm, so some of the employees available in the typical firm might not be available, like office boys, like administrative clerks. So might be sufficient if you just have the registered estate agent or the property negotiator. So this is because the work conducted is usually more towards services on real estate transaction. So needing to have specific people to handle documentation is not maybe it's not financially feasible. So this is some of the work that the negotiators or even the registered estate agents can do it themselves. Okay, so registered estate agent, so of course registered under the board of valuer, appraiser, estate agent and property managers. So they must have general real estate knowledge, provide the best services to their clients, and of course to uphold the highest ethics and the highest standard in doing agency work for their clients. Negotiator is also the same, but still not being recognized as a registered estate agent, so they can assist the transaction work, and then they can share the commission with their registered estate agent. So for negotiator in Malaysia, so it's not a requirement for the negotiators to have any specific qualification in real estate, but in order for them to be a probationary estate agent or even a registered estate agent, of course they need to have the qualification like a diploma in real estate, where it has been exempted by the board to take part 1 and part 2 of TPC, so they can straight away become a probationary estate agent, and After that, submit the documents to become a registered estate agent. So for people without the exempted qualification, so of course they need to take up the examination papers provided by board valuer in part 1 and also part 2. Okay, advertisement for staff, so this is usually being conducted by the agent or the negotiators themselves. So they find prospective people to join the organization, especially for negotiator. Now is there is no limit for negotiators to be employed by a registered estate agent, but the responsibility to manage them is of course placed on the shoulders of the registered estate agent. And so if your negotiator is not doing an ethical work, so your negotiator is doing works that are unprofessional, so of course the registered estate agent have to answer to the professional body, which is the board of valuer, for their conducts and also actions. Okay, so that is a little bit regarding an overview of how to manage the employees inside these three main real estate organization. So as this is also the last segment of the lecture for this semester, so I hope all of you can benefit from what we have gone through and discussed from week 1 until the last week 16. So of course the overall summary is that whatever kind of knowledge and information that you have gained here is needed to be applied. So when you are in the industry, you can conduct the works as ethically, as professionally as you can. So you need to give a good reputation to yourself and also the organization and the profession generally. So do not tarnish them in any way. And so if you were tarnishing them, of course disciplinary actions can be taken by the professional body, which is the board of value, appraiser, estate agent and property management. So I hope everyone can benefit a lot from what we have gone through before. Okay, so with that I will end lecture session. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.